and John's Patreon buffet.
It's like the beginning of The Exorcist. Remember that part where they're like,
Yes.
yeah, and then you see Pazuzu and the
Right.
disc, like, welcome back to Yuki and John's podcast buffet.
Yeah, Yuki and John and Yuki.
That's right. And Pazuzu is a special guest undercurrent this time. Not really. No, this isn't evil. This is more just like a general discussion. Because in our first episode of Yuki and John's podcast buffet, we discussed a little bit about dreams.
Yes.
Now, Yuki, there's a few ways that you could describe a dream or define a dream. Dreams, right? There's like dreams of in your life where you have goals. Essentially, it's like another word for goals, right? Dreams.
Yes.
What's your dream, Yuki, in real life?
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not Tom Cruise or anything, but when I was a kid, I wanted to go America, and then do movie and then theater. So again,
so your dreams came true, kind of.
I mean, I did what I wanted to do.
Wow.
So, but I'm not rich and famous, so that part is still different. But okay, immigrated this country.
Yeah.
Not the millionaire, but I made a living from what I love to do. So that part, I really, my dream came true.
So you followed your dreams, and some of them came true, and
Right.
But you're still chasing your dreams, which keeps you young at heart and keeps you going.
Yes, but different. But when you're young, like, oh my God, I like to be famous. I like to be rich. I don't have that anymore. I'm just old enough. Says I just love, enjoy the, good life and rest of my life kind of thing. It's
Sure.
not about the money anymore.
No,
Yeah.
it's you could still support Yuki.
Right, of course,
going
money helps, but
Yuki and John's Patreon buffet,
Yeah.
which is still running, and we put out exclusive content every day.
Right.
And you could also hire Yuki to be a production designer, set
Right.
designer, prop master.
But it's not like I want to be millionaire. I want to be famous. I want to win Academy. Like, I don't have that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, but your dreams, you followed them and you sort of got them. And what about your other dreams, the dreams that happen when you're asleep?
I mean, I do dream, but I don't remember. And then also, very short. I don't have like a long dream, like a story. It's a bits and piece. And then, when I wake up and it's over.
Do you have any recollections of any bits of dreams that you might remember? Like, I don't know, you were Captain Kirk on the Starship Enterprise for 5 minutes, or
No, I don't.
nothing.
Nothing.
Not even a snapshot of a dream. Nothing. You had 6 fingers instead of 5.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
None. You can't remember a single solitary dream. You woke up and you thought you were in Milwaukee, but you were really in Queens.
Yeah, like, that was a strange dream, but then I don't remember the dream.
You go away. They go away.
Yeah.
Wow, Yuki. Well, for me, it's the exact opposite. So I remember all my dreams because not all of them. I mean, some of them I don't write down, but I write down a lot of my dreams.
Maybe that's why you dream, and then because you write it down.
Yes, my dreams became more and more vivid as I started to write them down. So I started writing my dreams down regularly in 2009. And what I have here before you, Yuki, is my first dream journal that is completely filled with 11 or more years of dreams.
I like this, like a diary.
Yeah, it's so what we're looking at here, since this is only audio, we have this leather-bound book that has and it's together. It's a very
looks like a props from Indiana Jones or Harry Potter.
it looks like a Harry Potter prop.
Yeah,
And it has this like knob here that there's a piece of leather string that I turn around so it can stay locked. And then when I open it up, You open it up to the first page, and it says The Dream Journal #1 by John Brennan.
How many you have?
I'm on my second one now, and I'm about a third of the way through it.
Same book?
Similar book. Actually, this book was given to me by a human piece of dog shit that I don't talk to anymore. But it was a very nice gift that they gave me for my college graduation.
Nice
So I won't mention
job.
their name, but they could go fuck themselves. But then the second dream journal that I was given was from my beloved Liz Shack, who is also our producer.
Oh.
And she gave me this really nice, similar leather-bound book that on the front, at the bottom, it says "Me gusta," which in Spanish means "I like it."
Oh, me
Which,
gusta.
yeah, me gusta. And I like dreaming. I love dreaming, actually. And sometimes I have some incredible dreams. And why don't I go through this book a little bit and read you
Okay.
some of my dreams, and you can sort of psychoanalyze me.
All right.
You like that idea?
Yeah.
All right.
yeah. Interesting.
Interesting. So here we go. Here's the first dream ever that I ever wrote. I mean, I've written down other ones in the first, but this is the first one
The very first one start lighting
in
right?
this book, in the Dream Journal
Okay.
#1 by John Brennan. This is 1/22/2009.
Okay.
January 22nd, 2009.
14 years ago.
14 years ago. And this is the first dream ever. It's about a page long. Oh, it's very long, actually. Oh, my
long.
God. I don't know if I'll read this whole thing, but I'll
Well,
start.
maybe.
So here we go. This is the first dream by John Brennan. After a long journey, I decided to visit my uncle, Bilbo Baggins. Bilbo Baggins is
Is it the real person?
he's from The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. So he was
okay.
he was the protagonist of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh.
So I was dreaming about my uncle, Bilbo Baggins. He lived in a gated community with a wooden deck around a pool in the center of the community. First, when I arrived, it was a ghost town. No one was around, but I thought I heard rustling from one of the apartments. I descended a long staircase to my uncle's house. Inside it was set up like a mall or a department store with glass cases. I heard singing outside, and it was my uncle, Bilbo. I went outside, and he was excited to see me. He sang a joyous song for a moment, then left again to make my favorite bread. So, and this is funny because what's weird is this is also me writing this down as I'm like still half asleep. Because this was the first one I remember specifically going, I'm going to write my dreams down from now on. And then I got this book and I left it by my side and I had this dream and I half awake writing all this stuff down. So it's like broken, it's like starts and stops and it's not grammatically correct all the time. It's just me trying to get as much of it down as I remember.
Okay, now, are you in the dream or you seeing like a TV? You are not in the scene.
So I have all types of dreams. Sometimes I am the protagonist. Sometimes I am witnessing things happen. Sometimes I am both. Sometimes they say that a lot of people don't see themselves in dreams.
Right.
I've seen myself in dreams many
Really?
times.
So who is looking at you?
Me.
So you are two.
It's so weird because the perspective shifts in so many different ways. Sometimes it's first person, sometimes it's third person, sometimes it's in the fifth dimension. I don't even know what's happening. It's all. Sometimes I'm lucid dreaming, where I realize I'm dreaming in the dream while I'm dreaming, and then I can do whatever I want.
Because I had like I'm not the expert, but sometimes the moment people die, like a car crash, people see yourself and looking.
Out of body experience. Yeah.
So if you looking at you,
It might be an out of body experience.
Yeah.
But it is not like me looking at myself in bed. It's me in the dream. So I remember specifically one time I said in the dream, you are not supposed to be able to see yourself in the dream. And I said, I don't think that's true. I think right now if I walk up to that mirror and I look, I can see myself. And I did. I walked up to the mirror and I saw my own face. So it might be an out-of-body experience in the dream, but it wasn't like I floated out of my body and saw myself in bed. You know what I mean? It was in the context of the dream where I was in a room with a mirror.
Wow. I'm not the dream expert, but who is the expert? Maybe you
Well,
can
so
talk-
Carl Jung,
Yeah.
who was a really amazing psychologist, psychoanalyst. I think it's not a psychologist. He was into psychology. And he's the guy who basically developed the archetypes and all this stuff. Him and Sigmund Freud, right? So Sigmund Freud was the pioneer of writing down in dreams. I believe his book is called Interpretations of Dreams or something like that. And Jung was his disciple or his associate, basically a mentor to Jung. And then Jung took it even further. Carl Jung started writing down his dreams came to him and basically were like telling him his future and crazy stuff. He would analyze dreams like crazy and write shit down. That's what it kind of inspired me. There's a book called The Red Book where he spent years of his life analyzing his dreams and causing himself to go insane so he can study the human mind.
But that's his dream he studied, right?
And others. No, when he would psychoanalyze people, he would do this thing called individuation and psychoanalysis. And whenever people would come to him, he would be very interested in what their dreams meant, and he would try to interpret what their dreams meant. So that's why I started writing down my dreams, because I said maybe one day I could go visit a psychoanalyst or somebody and they could look through my dreams and say, whoa, at this time, you were talking about Bilbo Baggins, but that really represented your repressed homosexuality. There's a lot of stuff that we could come up with. So, all right, let's continue here. From once Bilbo left, I pictured what food was left around the house, and I thought of the journey ahead with a heavy heart, worried. At that point, robbers came into my uncle's department store, his department store-like house, and they were looking around. The in-house security robot came around and defended the house against the thieves. I tried to avoid the confrontation, but after the robot used magic to ward off the thieves, they became robots themselves, and they came after me. The original robot, who was a female with a name like Julie, directed me how to escape the newly formed thief robot. So I had to run away from a robot that was turned into a robot by another robot. After that, I believe, was the start of a new dream. This one is fragmented, but I was on a hill with toy soldiers. My brother and I were working together to get food up the hill. There's a lot of food in these dreams. We were trying to get food up the hill to supply the troops. And my brother Dan was the mascot. He was doing most of the work. He had already delivered a 922 LA Byte order. We used to work at this company called LA Byte. And
so the other thing is in the dream too?
Yes, it was a mixture of real and fantasy. And so he already delivered a $922 and needed to go back to get the other half of it. And he was out of breath and there was food on his face. I was holding a sheet for a smaller food order, which was like, we used to get these faxes. And they were coming in on my side of the hill. And then another dream, this is the final dream, set up sort of a luncheon from my old high school chaminade. And I may not want to read the rest of this. Anyway, sometimes sometimes things happen where you have sex with people. A blonde girl stood up and said she was going to blow my mind.
So is that about sex too? The graphic, very lighted?
Something happens. Okay. Then after the sex, she said Dante's Inferno.
Oh.
Which we spoke about in the first one. She said we should read Dante's Inferno together before bed. And then I can't remember any of the names that she said, but she named off a bunch of other books. And then she said that the final book was a book that I wrote, and I realized that, whoa, I wrote a book and I woke up.
Wow. Is she the other person or is she somebody?
It didn't have a name. It just said a blonde girl. So it might have been my beloved Liz Shack.
Do you remember the face?
No, I mean, I didn't describe it. It just said a blonde girl. So it was probably just like I don't want to be misogynistic.
But that was a long time ago.
Right.
It's her.
Well, yeah, that's true. She
could be like a baby. Okay?
No, not a baby. I'm not a pedophile, Yuki.
You know.
Come on, Yuki.
You make you sick.
I knew I shouldn't have done this. This was a bad idea. All right, let's flash forward a couple of years. Let's see what we got in.
Okay.
Let's see, that was 2009. Let's see what we got in 2011, and I'll see if I can avoid the sex ones. Because I'm very honest in these. Whatever I see, I don't care. Like, I don't have anything to hide. Anything that's in my dreams is fine in my waking life.
Anything to hide? You just hid it.
Well, I didn't want to say exactly what happened in the dream. I didn't want to say that there was a oral or whatever. You know, it wasn't a wet dream. I know that. I would have said that. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Okay. Well, no, I don't like that one either. I see. Oh God, no, that one's.
You never have a wet dream? I had a couple of times when I was a teenager.
Here we go. This is a very short one, which is very interesting. I was transporting fish tanks, stacks and stacks and stacks of them across town. I was carrying some, driving some. They were all full of water.
How many tanks are there?
It says stacks of them.
How can you?
I don't know. Some of them I was carrying, some of them I was driving, and they were all full of water and goldfish. And I had a box of fish food.
That's not easy.
No. And I took it all and I delivered it to a doctor's office. All the tanks I delivered to a doctor's office.
Why doctor's office?
Fucking, who knows? In 2011, I might have been delivering a lot of tanks to a lot of doctor's office.
I mean, in the real life, did you deliver the tanks?
I used to deliver food in LA
But not tanks,
many years
right?
ago. No, not tanks. But people ordered fish sometimes. It might relate to that.
So is that the same time when you were in LA?
This is after LA, which is odd. So I didn't deliver food for since like 2004 or 5. So this is way. I still though remember things that I've done. Sometimes in my dreams I'll be in my old house when I was a kid, or the one now I dream about my apartment in LA.
When you had this dream, it's here, New York.
Yes,
but places are all somewhere
in the
before.
past. Yeah, sometimes it happens that way, where it's just fragments of the past coming back to haunt me. You know, or not, maybe not haunt. See, because a lot of this, I never look at this stuff and think it's scary. I look at that stuff and I say, what was going on at the time? Which actually, I'm going to take note and just say in my new dream journal, write down next to it like, so say 11/11, whatever. This was the day that I found out that, I was moving to Montana. That way I can relate my real life to the dream.
Did you move to Montana?
No, I'm just using that as an example. But so I should do that. That's actually some note that's good.
You never die in dreams though, right?
Never died in a dream. No. I got stabbed. I got shot. I fell off a building. All sorts of stuff.
But you never died.
Never died. Never actually died in a dream.
I've been told I was dead in a dream.
Oh, Liz Shack said that she was told she was dead in a dream.
By Samuel L. Jackson.
By Samuel?
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of celebrities. I haven't reached a celebrity yet. Oh, another blonde woman.
Oh.
Lucky you.
Woo! Okay, so zombies. This is 12/4/11, December 4th, 2011. Zombies. Period. A group of us entered into an RV, and in the back was a wet and lumpy mess of blood and guts. A tiny living thing that looked like a bird was in the mess. Someone picked it up to examine it, and suddenly it exploded. Then we were in another RV. The group was preparing for another mess, but instead we found a family in there. There was a mother, a blonde woman, and they were both acting erratic. And some of us wiped off their face because they were all covered in blood, and we exposed their eyes, and then suddenly their skull was exposed, and there was empty eye sockets. And the family, turned out, they were zombies pretending to be humans. They had a dog with them, and one of our group members took the dog into a tunnel where other zombie dogs were waiting for it. And thinking that the pack would destroy the dog, instead, it joined the pack, and they began running around together. People opened fire on the dogs with machine guns. Most of the dogs escaped. I found a BB gun in a store, and I armed myself for war with the zombies.
You have a thing for blonde?
I guess so. I don't know. That's That's weird because that's 2 years apart, and that's another blonde woman. Yeah.
Then look who she's a blonde girl.
Yeah, but my beloved Liz Shack, who is also our producer, is a blonde woman, and hey.
Dream came true.
The dream came true. Although in that one, it wasn't a sexual dream. The blonde woman was a mother protecting her family that turned out she was a zombie.
Oh. But still, she's a blonde. Blonde
was
zombie.
blonde.
Well, Yuki was talking about how he had wet dreams back in the day.
Oh, Yuki, wait a second. That's so you had wet dreams back in the day? Yo, really?
When I was teenage.
How wet?
Very wet.
So you would have dreams about like I don't know, woman that you would want to bed or
Well, it's not like my dream girl. Though. No, just a girl because I didn't see her face.
okay.
I was doing from the back.
Oh.
So, like a doggy style. So I didn't see her face.
Okay.
To this day, I still don't know who that was.
Oh, but it was nice. It was you were a teenage
Yeah.
boy and you had a little fun and
Yeah.
that's amazing. I like that because but what's weird is once I started writing my dreams down, there weren't many sexual encounters. Like there was that early one was one, but then they started to get more about zombies or running or performing or there's all this stuff.
Just generally speaking, all boys dream about the girl.
I think so. I mean, I think if you're a young horny male
Yeah, like 13, 14, 15 years old.
and you're a heterosexual male,
Right.
you dream about rubbing it out on a woman and you have nocturnal emissions is what they're called.
Yeah, I mean.
And then if you're a homosexual, you dream about having sex with Tom Selleck.
Never, no.
You know who Tom Selleck is?
Yeah.
He is the mustache.
Yeah. Never.
Wet Tom Selleck dreams.
No.
Oh.
I mean, he doesn't do anything.
He was Magnum PI.
Yeah, Magnum PI.
Magnum is the key word. That's why they they
That-
named
the condom,
Magnum condoms. Yeah, they
but-
named him after Tom Selleck's penis.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Magnum,
that's
No.
right. Yeah, no, it's true. And it all came from a dream too. The guy who invented the Magnum condoms had a dream about Tom Selleck's penis and said it's so humongous I need to make a condom.
The name after him.
Yes.
Oh.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
No.
So Yuki, when you dream,
Yeah.
do you dream in English or Japanese?
Okay, here is the thing. When I came here, I was still dreaming in Japanese. But when I start dreaming in English, in real life, my English became better. So
Wow.
I think it's brain that because until then I was translating everything in my mind, but when I start dreaming English, directly I think in English. That's when my English became better. I'm not linguistic expert or anything. This is my theory, my experience. When I start thinking, dreaming in English, my English gets better. Then that moment, let's see, I didn't know how long was 1 foot. I didn't know how hot is 100 degrees. But when I start knowing it, oh, today is 97 degrees. Oh, that's 2 feet. Then dreaming in English, then my English became better. And then that took me 2 years.
Wow, that's amazing. So somehow your dreams and your waking life were connected to help you develop in a new language, in a foreign language.
Right.
That's incredible. So maybe there's something to be said about playing tapes or something while you're sleeping that help you learn English or any foreign language. If you're trying to learn Italian, you play some Italian tapes while you're sleeping and it enters your dream worlds. That's cool.
That's cool, right?
You ever fall asleep with, say, the TV or the radio on or something, and then it becomes part of your dream?
No.
See, I did a few times. I would fall asleep to say, like, I don't know, Howard Stern or something, and all of a sudden while I'm sleeping, I'm in the Howard Stern studio with them watching the things happen.
God, that's interesting. You just that's like what was the movie? Woody Allen. Him inside the story. The Purple Rose in Cairo? Or,
Oh, yeah, Purple Rose of Cairo. Yeah. That's the Woody Allen movie where
yeah.
the
He
movie
is
people
in the
come.
movie.
Yeah, and they come down and they. Yeah.
So something like that because before you dream, then you, that dream.
That's right.
That's interesting.
Let's see. Here's one from a few years later. September 26, 2017. I was standing in the middle of a stadium, performing Crosstown Traffic by Jimi Hendrix on a water jug. The water jug? You know how, what the water jugs, when you blow into it, it's like, so I was playing Crosstown Traffic, like, so
Jimmy
the audience was playing along on their own water jugs,
Oh.
and some were clapping along using the beat of "We Will Rock You." So they were going
Oh.
dum dum cha, dum dum cha, and I was going doo 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 doo. And then fast forward to right the same night. Another dream, I was walking down the street. A fat guy in a tracksuit said, "You better stop the bad habits or you'll end up fat like John Goodman." And I said, "John Goodman is skinny now." And the fat guy said, "I am John Goodman."
That's funny then.
Yo, that's one of the best dreams. I didn't even know that.
That's the best dream I've ever
It's the fucking best. So, yeah, that's like... Yeah, I guess John Goodman was trying to warn me.
Wow.
Wow. All right, let's
Your
see.
dream is like a real thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Here, look at this. I had a lucid dream. In a nightclub, a strange psychedelic shape-shifting creature was on stage. I realized I was dreaming for a few moments, and I woke up, and the creature started moving towards me, but I was still sleeping. I realized I was dreaming, and then I actually woke up.
So you dream in dream? It's like a
Yes.
double thing then.
Yeah, but I realized it's not dreaming in a dream. It's dreaming and saying, I'm dreaming, but not waking up into reality, staying in the dream and then going, oh my God, this is all a dream. And you're able to look around and realize it's the dream world.
But you're still sleeping though, right?
Still sleeping, but then the psychedelic creature, and actually I'm getting a vision of what that creature was like.
Yeah.
And it was like an amoeba that had sort of a human form, but it was like gelatinous and like moving and waving, and on it was almost like different shapes, and also in the old TV where you would get the snow.
Yeah.
If you had a channel that wasn't working and it was like
Yeah.
it was static all over the body, but within it was like these paisley shapes that were moving around. No face, no nothing, but in it was like infinite, paisleys moving. Crazy. I can't believe that sentence jarred that vision loose in my mind. All right, so let's see. Let's go to the very final dream. We did a few. Let's go to the final one. Oh my God, look at this. And I'll read this no matter what. And I won't say the names because there's a few of my friends are in here. I'll say their first names. I won't say their. And this was 4/2/2020. So this was during the pandemic.
Oh, that's a couple of years ago.
Yeah, this was a couple of years ago. My final dream and the dream journal #1 was during the pandemic. And I said, I was on a chat Zoom with Nick and Kevin. Kevin delivered bad news to Nick. He was no longer able to make it onto the Zoom. He forgot
Kevin,
the
that the DP Kevin?
No, this is another Kevin, a childhood friend. He forgot the game, but it was some Saturday in the other future where he wanted to reschedule. Nick got very upset with Kevin. Nick had invited Kevin to make a movie based on his idea. He started crying because now Kevin was saying he couldn't make it on another Zoom after that. And this is very interesting because remember how huge Zoom got at that time? Everybody was Zooming with each other and
Yeah.
having meetings. This is crazy. So it was infiltrating my idea. Nick got up out of his chair and ran away, sad. The angle on the Zoom camera changed, and it showed Nick running down a hallway. He was bawling. And none of us were running after him. I was then in a house I owned, and I was preparing the outside area for sitting and writing. I prepped the front stoop, and then went to the backyard and prepped the patio furniture. I looked across the yard and saw the house behind mine. In the backyard, Nick was there with his children. I walked over, and they said they owned the neighboring house now.
God.
Weird, right?
Weird.
I mean, so the weird thing is, like, I actually did have Zoom meetings with my friends at that time just because everybody was, like, didn't know what was happening. Everybody was shut down. Nobody had to go to work or they were working from home. And so the way that you would socialize at the time was Zoom.
I know that 2-3 years ago, Zoom was so popular. Everything was, but now these days, like, you don't need the Zoom. You just video phone.
Yeah. Now you can do whatever on your
Right.
phone, whatever. But at the time, yeah, that was coming, and that's so strange. And then I guess I had a new house. I guess what I could represent in that dream or interpret in that dream is that I wanted out of the pandemic, and everybody was having such a bad time. They were trying to run away from it. All my friends, all my everybody wanted out, and I wanted to move to a place where there was no pandemic, where I could just sit and write and have a regular life with neighbors, and hopefully my friends as the neighbors.
I mean, around that time, some company or producer wanted to Zoom interview with me, and I refused it. I don't know what that is. I don't have Zoom. So, because, okay, bye.
So you lost the job because
because
but who was trying to freaking film during the pandemic? What psychopath wanted to make a movie?
I know, so that's why I didn't care. Like, what do you mean Zoom interview? Like, can we do like a video or Skype or why? It doesn't have to be Zoom.
You know what the funniest part is? It's kind of Zoom is pretty much Skype. It's the same
But
thing.
then I say I can do Skype, but I don't know how to do Zoom.
Oh yeah, because it was brand new. It was newish to the world.
Yeah. So
wow.
but
So Yuki, what are your final thoughts on dreams and/or just the oddness of my dream journal?
no, the interesting because totally different. I don't remember my dream. My dream is not that long. I don't see myself in my dream. I'm always I'm looking at the scene, but
Yeah.
I'm not in the scene.
You're not in the scene,
Right.
Okay.
So, but you different all kinds of
I get information. I interact with
Right,
celebrities,
right.
my friends. I
You more
obviously make
details.
love to blonde women.
Yeah. So
It's a great time, and I didn't even get into any of the. I have tidal wave dreams. I have Indiana Jones dreams.
Oh my
a lot of
God.
dreams about zombies. So what we'll do is, every once in a while, we'll go back and
we
revisit
have
my
to do
dream.
like a dream episode. Then.
Yeah, we'll do some more episodes on dreams, and I'll read some more of these, and we'll just
Yeah.
have some discussions on whatever this brings
But
up.
the only I can tell you is different from my dream experience.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
maybe Yuki should get a dream.
that's what I was just going to say is Yuki, I think the assignment now is to get a small notebook and leave it next to your bedside table.
But if I don't remember, how am I supposed
Well, no,
to write it?
what you're supposed to do, it's a habit. So if you wake up, and even if it's just a little snapshot of a dream, like an image or a sound or anything that was given to you, just write a sentence down, say, tonight I dreamed about chocolate milk, and then just leave it at that, and then we'll discuss.
I will try then.
Try it.
Yeah.
Even if you open a note thing in your phone that's you have a second note thing, you
Yeah.
just type it in.
Okay.
I had a dream about Charlie Sheen, whatever it is.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't want to dream about him, but whoever.
Hey, if you're banging 7-gram rocks like he used to, that might be fun. If you do crack in the dream world, it's not as bad as in the real world. You can do anything you want in the real
Okay.
world. I mean, in the fake world. All right, well, this was another exciting episode of Yuki and John's Podcast Buffet. Please join us, if you will, and have the means to, on Yuki
Yes.
and John's Patreon Buffet, where we're still doing all sorts of shows like Yuki Reacts, The Universe and Human Stupidity,
Right.
Yuki Celebrity Stories. We're also sharing a lot of trauma content, public domain movies.
Oh.
How about next episode we talk about films?
Okay, sounds great.
Great. All right. Thank you guys
Thank
for joining us. Yuki is at Tokyo Cowboy Yuki on Instagram and Twitter. And I'm on at Bad Techno on Twitter and Instagram and other things. BadTechno.com.
See you next time.
Yuki and John's Patreon buffet.